Have you ever heard of someone having a stroke in their sleep? One minute they seem perfectly fine, and the next they couldn't move their arm or speak clearly. It's terrifying. And sadly, it happens more often than we think, especially to older adults over 60. What if I told you that some of the things we do at night, without even thinking, could silently raise our stroke risk while we sleep? Things as simple as how we lay our head on the pillow or what we drink before bedtime. Hi, I'm Dr. Ariana. I've spent the last 15 years helping older adults protect their brain, their memory, and their independence. And tonight I want to gently walk you through 6 common nighttime habits that may be putting silent pressure on your heart and brain. But don't worry, each one comes with a simple fix. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid at night and what to do instead for a safer, more peaceful sleep. Let's begin. Not going to the bathroom. Upon waking, let me ask you something personal. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night needing to use the bathroom, but instead of getting up, you told yourself, "I'll just hold it and try to fall back asleep"? You're not alone. Many of my patients over 65 do exactly that. They don't want to disturb their sleep. They worry about getting cold or slipping in the dark. But what they don't realize is that holding urine during the night can quietly put dangerous stress on the body. When your bladder becomes full, it sends signals that activate your nervous system, specifically the sympathetic branch. That's the one responsible for your body's fight or flight response. As a result, your blood pressure rises, your heart rate increases, and your body enters a state of tension, even while you're lying in bed. Now imagine this happening night after night. Over time, these small spikes in blood pressure can weaken the delicate blood vessels in your brain. And if your arteries are already fragile, or if you're taking medication for high blood pressure, this extra stress may be more than your body can handle. I remember one gentleman, 72 years old, who came into the hospital with a mild stroke. He was generally healthy, ate well, stayed active. But when we reviewed his habits, he quietly admitted that he often resisted going to the bathroom during the night because he didn't want to wake his wife. His story isn't rare, and that small act of being considerate might have been part of what tipped the balance. So what's the solution? It's simple. If you feel the urge to go, get up and go. Make the pathway to your bathroom as safe as possible. Use a nightlight, clear the floor, and wear non-slip slippers. You might lose 2 minutes of sleep, but you could gain years of brain health. Trust your body's signals. A quiet trip to the bathroom could be the very thing that protects your heart and mind in the long run. Sleeping with a pillow. That's too low. Now let's talk about something simple. Your pillow. Most of us don't think twice about it. You've probably been using the same one for years. It feels familiar, maybe even comforting. But if your pillow is too flat or too low, it might be silently working against your health. Here's why that matters, especially after 60. When your head lies too low, your neck and upper body become almost level with your heart. That means blood can flow to your brain with more force, and during sleep, this pressure may build up without you ever feeling it. For someone with healthy, flexible arteries, this might not cause much trouble. But for seniors, especially those with high blood pressure or stiffer blood vessels, this can quietly raise the risk of a rupture or clot. Think of your arteries like garden hoses. Too much pressure, too often, and eventually one may crack or burst. And in the brain, that's what we call a stroke. One of my patients, Mrs. Elaine, age 74, always preferred a flat pillow. She said it helped her neck, but she often woke up feeling dizzy or slightly confused. Once we made a simple switch to a firmer, slightly elevated pillow, those symptoms eased within days. So what's the right height? Ideally, your pillow should raise your head about 4 to 6 inches above your mattress. That's enough to allow gravity to support healthy blood flow without putting strain on your neck or cutting off circulation. If you're not ready to change pillows just yet, try this. Fold a soft towel and place it under your pillow as a temporary boost. See how your body responds. And remember, your comfort matters too. The goal isn't to feel stiff. It's to find a gentle angle that supports both your neck and your circulation. It's amazing how something as small as pillow height can protect your brain while you sleep. Because a good night's rest isn't just about closing your eyes. It's about making sure your body is resting safely. Drinking too much water before bed. We've all heard that staying hydrated is important, especially as we get older. And it's true. Drinking enough water during the day helps keep your circulation healthy, your joints moving, and your brain sharp. But what many people don't realize is that when you drink water matters just as much as how much. If you're drinking 1 or 2 full glasses of water right before bed, thinking it will help overnight, you may be doing more harm than good. Here's why. As we sleep, our bodies naturally shift into a slower, more restful state. Our blood pressure lowers, our heart rate slows down. But if you overload your bladder right before sleep, your body doesn't get to stay in that restful state for long. You're likely to wake up once, maybe twice during the night to urinate. That might not seem like a big deal, but every time you wake up, your body must reactivate. Heart rate increases, stress hormones rise, and blood pressure can spike. And if you jump out of bed quickly to rush to the bathroom, that sudden movement can add even more strain. For someone over 65, this combination, interrupted sleep, pressure changes, and movement in the dark, can be risky. There's another layer too. If you're taking medications that affect fluid balance, like diuretics for high blood pressure, your body is even more sensitive to nighttime fluid intake. So what's the safer routine? Try to drink most of your water between morning and early evening. Then, in the hour or 2 before bed, slow down your intake. If you get thirsty late at night, just take a few sips instead of a full glass. And if your mouth feels dry, consider rinsing with water or using a small humidifier in your room. It's about balance, not deprivation. You don't have to stop drinking water. You just need to be gentle with your body and give it the rest it deserves at night. Because restful sleep is when your brain repairs, your heart recovers, and every drop of that healing matters. Watching stressful or stimulating content before bed. Now let's talk about something many of us do without thinking. Turning on the TV or scrolling through our phone just before bed. You might be watching the evening news, checking headlines, or catching up on a suspenseful crime show. And while that might feel like a normal part of winding down, for your brain, it can be anything but relaxing. Here's what's really happening inside your body. When you consume emotionally intense content, whether it's a sad story, a violent scene, or even a heated political debate, your brain responds as if it's facing a real-life threat. It doesn't matter that you're lying in bed in your pajamas. Your stress response system kicks in. Cortisol, your primary stress hormone, rises. Your blood vessels tighten. Your heart rate climbs. And instead of preparing for deep, healing rest, your body stays alert and tense, sometimes for hours. One of my patients, Mr. Howard, age 70, used to fall asleep every night with the TV on. He'd watch the late news, sometimes true crime documentaries, and then try to drift off. But he often woke up at 2 or 3 in the morning feeling restless, with his heart racing. Once we made a simple shift, turning off the screen 30 minutes before bed and switching to soft music or gentle reading, his sleep improved dramatically. And here's the connection to stroke risk. Sleep is when your blood pressure naturally dips and your blood vessels repair from daytime stress. But if you go to bed in a state of mental agitation, that process gets interrupted. The body stays in high alert, making it more likely for nighttime spikes in blood pressure to occur. These silent spikes can be especially dangerous in older adults with weakened arteries or a history of high blood pressure. So what's the alternative? Create a calming routine, dim the lights, put on soft instrumental music, do light stretching, or write in a journal. And if you enjoy watching something, try nature videos or old comedies. Anything that brings peace instead of pressure. Your brain deserves kindness before bed, And sometimes that means turning the volume down, on the screen and in your mind. Taking hot showers too close to bedtime. I know how comforting a hot shower can be, especially after a long day. Many older adults tell me it helps them relax before bed, eases joint pain, even helps with sleep. But here's something that might surprise you. If you take a very hot shower too close to bedtime, you could actually be putting extra stress on your heart and brain. Let me explain. When your body is exposed to hot water, especially above 100 degrees, your blood vessels widen rapidly. This is called vasodilation. It lowers your blood pressure at first, which might seem like a good thing. But for people over 65, it can be tricky. Your heart senses that sudden drop and tries to compensate. It starts beating faster. Your circulation shifts. And if your arteries are stiff or narrowed, something very common with age, that sudden change can lead to dangerous swings in blood pressure. Now, layer in one more factor. If you finish that hot shower and go straight to bed, your body hasn't had time to cool down or stabilize. Your blood pressure may still be shifting as you lie down, which can disrupt your sleep and even raise your risk of nighttime stroke, especially if you already have high blood pressure. One of my patients, Ruth, 76, loved her nightly hot baths, but she often felt lightheaded afterward and occasionally woke up with a pounding heartbeat. We changed just one thing, moving her bath 90 minutes earlier and keeping the water comfortably warm, not scalding. Within a week, her nighttime symptoms calmed. So what's the safe approach? Keep your showers warm, not too hot. Aim for under 100 degrees or rough. Limit your shower time to about 10 to 12 minutes. And try to shower at least an hour to an hour and a half before bed. That gives your body time to cool down and your blood pressure time to settle. You still get the soothing benefits without the extra risk, because bedtime should be a time of healing, not hidden danger. And a gentle, warm shower at the right time can be part of that comfort. Getting out of bed. Too quickly. Now let's talk about those first few moments after you wake up. You open your eyes, realize it's morning, and your instinct might be to sit up quickly, swing your legs over the bed, and stand right up. But for people over 60, that quick movement can be a risky one. Here's why. During sleep, your body is in a relaxed state. Your blood pressure is lower. Your heart slows down. And when you go from lying flat to sitting or standing in just a few seconds, your blood has to quickly shift direction, with gravity pulling it down toward your legs. But your brain still needs that blood. If the vessels don't react fast enough, especially if they're stiffer with age, your brain may be momentarily starved of oxygen. That's when you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or even like you might faint. This condition is called orthostatic hypotension, and it's surprisingly common in older adults. But what's not so well known is that it can quietly increase your risk of stroke. Why? Because these drops in blood pressure, followed by rapid corrections, put extra strain on your heart and arteries. And if a small clot or weak vessel is already there, that extra pressure can be the tipping point. One of my patients, Linda, age 71, used to hop out of bed as soon as her alarm rang. She thought being quick on her feet was a good sign, but she often felt off balance in the mornings. After one near fall, she began following a slower routine, and those dizzy spells disappeared. So how should you get up? Here's a simple sequence I teach all my patients. When you first wake up, stay lying down and take 3 to 5 slow, deep breaths. Roll gently onto your side. Push up slowly into a sitting position and let your feet dangle over the edge of the bed. Wait 30 seconds. Then, and only then, stand slowly. This gives your circulation time to adjust, your brain time to receive steady blood flow, and your body time to feel centered. Because protecting your brain starts with how you greet the day, and there's no need to rush that first moment. So let's take a deep breath together. We've just walked through 6 small but powerful habits that could silently raise your stroke risk while you sleep. They may not seem like much on their own. A sip of water too late, a quick rise from bed, or falling asleep with the TV still whispering in the background. But over time, these little moments can add up. And for those of us over 60, our bodies are asking for something gentler, more thoughtful, more protective. The good news is you don't need to change everything overnight. Even one small shift, like going to the bathroom when you feel the urge or giving your body an extra 30 seconds to adjust in the morning, can make a big difference. I always tell my patients, you can't turn back time, but you can slow down the wear and tear by treating your body with care. Tonight, before bed, take a moment to reflect. Is there one habit you can soften? Just a little? Could you dim the lights earlier? Pick a calming song instead of the news? Choose a higher pillow or pour one less glass of water. It doesn't have to be perfect, just intentional. And if this video helped you feel more in control of your health, consider subscribing to Elderly Whisper. Because here, we speak softly, but we carry strong knowledge. Just for you, sleep well tonight, dear friend. And remember, even in the quietest hours, your heart and brain are listening. Let's help them feel safe.